Story continued from Thaddeus and Tarquinus playlist. Refutations. Another day, another gut-wrenching drop in morale. I'm getting tired of this. And if I can say that, I shudder to think how badly it is affecting those less emotionally robust than myself. Though it is not difficult to discern. Sloped shoulders, tired eyes with haunted looks plastered across the faces of anyone above a certain rank. Those in the know. For the lower rankers, the denizens of all but the bridge and bays still show the same fine fettle as always, their strides expansive, their movements direct. They are infused with the certainty that comes from the knowledge that every one of their deeds, no matter how simple or small, goes towards the greater glory of the Emperor. They act to save their Lord, the Master of mankind. This is what we have projected to them. So this is what they believe. Ignorance truly is bliss. Yet, if we are the last line of defense against the tides of woe about to be unleashed, well, I am beginning to agree with Vermilia. We are in deep, and have no proverbial paddle. How fast matters change out here. Things have been going quite swimmingly for a change. The Coravor had been even more forthcoming after we defended them from attack. Not only did they permit Saulat and I to visit their most holy site, the derelict and devastated ghost of their first city, but they also gave us a letter of referral, a commendation of sorts that could be sent to any who held them in high esteem. A door opener they said we would need to avoid being engaged on sight. Humans are not liked out here, all due to the enemy. But to complete the transaction, they even gave us some limited local star maps and directions to the species most likely to accept diplomatic overtures. The Coravor drove a hard bargain, despite our previous help, but then they would not have even considered this outcome if not for our selfless actions. And anyways, this is why we have Karl Arnhrad with us. Miniature army of men and massive warship notwithstanding. He speaks the universal language of trade better than any human I have ever met. He has always been invaluable. A pity he does not get on with Saulat nor Vermilia. But that has its upsides too. Well, for me at least. Neither of them can risk sidelining me properly, especially not with Pius in this prong of our little crusade. Oh, they tried before. Saulat and Vermilia both attempting to gain the upper hand. But when push came to shove, they folded. With Vermilia, I am unsurprised. She acts tough, but we both know I have the experience she sorely lacks. But Saulat really seemed to go for it. Yet, I am back in charge, and none can refute that now. It's not a case of ego. The cause is all. If this prong were made up of other Inquisitors, I would have been more than happy to be led by another. But not those two. Saulat has spent centuries, most of his long life, to gain the information and equipment that made this whole shindig possible. Saulat is too close to the issue. Frantic in many regards, his decision-making cannot be anything but compromised when this topic is involved. He is an expert on the enemy, his history, his affairs, his comings and goings. Alas, experts are magnificent for one thing only: advice. It stings him, I know. He feels he should be directing it all, nor is Saulat the kind to breed confidence. Oh, he has it in spades, but his stature and demeanour have always been firmly housed in investigation, in quietly and patiently applying unrelenting tenacity in his pursuits. Now is not a time for consideration and plotting, following and finding. Now is a time of action most bold. Simply put, Sowlet is capable of fighting, but he is no warrior nor general. Familiar sculpts her reputation and bearing to exemplify these traits. In her mind and that of all of her entourage, it is she who should be at the knife's edge. It is she who should be calling the shots in this campaign. Yet she is so young, inexperienced, and she carries a heavy weight. Like myself, she has lost her pupil, her successor, and in the most embarrassing and crushing way possible. He was a traitor, a plant, and she did not see it. Not that I'm saying that I could. Well, I do not state it. Add to that the recent loss of the Cotto and her oldest adherent, Tarek. The strain is not on display to any other, but when we are alone, she has shown it. She does not truly respect nor trust Sowlet. This much is certain, so I am the natural choice, the only one both can stomach to cede authority to, no matter how it may chafe. More than once today, I have reached for a flask that is no longer on my person. My hands shake a tiny bit, so I clamp them behind my back on the regular. It also goes some way to show off my wonderful frame, broad shoulders, flat stomach. I may be an old dog, but I'm still as fit as a fiddle. Plus, of course, it lends a form of confidence to all who see me striding about the place. They do not see the hours in the night when I cannot sleep, when I toss and tease out every last moment since the dreaded meeting, the beginning of this quest out into the darkness, beyond the Emperor's light. We shouldn't be here. If I were not sure before, what I see now makes me utterly certain. At least this proves to all that I was not lying, that there were other prongs in the attack. But, as usual for this event, it came in the worst possible way. For I look upon the carcasses of a half-dozen ships, each a burning wreck, each destroyed by the enemy, each the vessel of, or under the command or aegis of, one of my peers. They are not all in one place, like a trail of debris, metal twists and shifts across thousands of miles. This was no pitched battle, it was a chase. The lesser ships were crippled or destroyed early, the last being the largest, which, of course, was the valiant Avenger, Tamerlane's ship. I witness it in the screen, slowly drifting in space, scorch marks across her flanks, rents deep amid the wreckage. They took out her engines, and they tore her to pieces. I wince inside. The Valiant was a fine ship. It hurts me to see her this way. But why? Why didn't they jump into the bewildering complexity of the warp? Surely some of them could have gotten away, unless they were somehow prevented from doing so. There must be a reason. We scan the Valiant for over an hour before the captain gives the all clear. As far as is possible, his underlings have checked and rechecked. If there were any booby traps, they do not rely on power, for there is none there whatsoever. Anhrad offers to send over a team to check the place over. For once, I do not correspond with my colleagues. I just give him the green light. Light being the word, of course. For I know that he will have anything of use reclaimed by his men, for the greater crusade, of course. But I do not care. I never did. His fees need to be paid somehow, some way, and Tamerlane will not miss any of it now. Saulot might have squealed. Vermilia snorted derisively. I saved myself this annoyance. Anhard sends over a warning before we embark on our transport. References the events witnessed on the Huntsman of the Soul, what seems like so long ago. I prepare my people and myself. As the entourage of an Inquisitor, they have seen similar before. But I make sure that Santara is not on this particular excursion. I take Devlin, Bartholomew, and of course, my knight, Barbon. More than enough. It is not surprising what we witness, but still a shock. We see fragments of faces, hands, arms, bodies, men and women turned into sculptures of diamond, then blasted apart. Others with rictus grins, others still who have died attempting to consume their own weapons. It is a travesty of horrors here. This wasn't just about victory, it was cruel beyond belief. But not as sculpted as before on the Huntsman of the Soul. They did this quickly, then left. But Tamerlane, we cannot find his body anywhere. The four of us stand on the bridge. We keep the lights low, pointing at ourselves, so we do not have to witness the wholesale slaughter that marks every wall, every console. In the background, a tech priest of Mars works away at one of the screens, and the cogitators beneath it. Mechadendrite tentacles slither from the monk of Mars, and it attempts to coax life into the thing. I wheel on my colleague, and look imploringly. Saulot. He shakes his head emphatically in the negative. No, Thaddeus, I dare not. Vermilia glares at him, hisses like a snake or a big cat, a dangerous one. Saulot ignores Vermilia or avoids acknowledging her outburst, or was it a threat? This could get lively. Please don't force my hand. Not yet. Pius takes a step towards Saulot and gives his most impassioned look.
Uncle Saulot.
The old Inquisitor looks to Pius.
I trust no one but you to do this and come back to us whole. We need this.
Saulot looks at him long. The moment lingers, but his face softens. His eyes go down as he nods to Pius, then switches his look to me. You know the deal, Thaddeus. I nod slowly in retort. I know. If he should be shattered, if he should lose control. He whips off one of his gloves and kneels, placing his uncovered flesh on the deck. His eyes flash with white backlighting. He looks blind now, but he can see more than I ever will. His voice sails to us as if from a distance. The battle was fierce, but one-sided. Tamerlane gave a good account of himself. He slew a dozen foes before they took him down. He scrunches his face, closing his eyes, shaking his head slowly, as if trying to reposition. He points his face in another direction. He gasps and raises his hand immediately. The light behind his eyes ends. It is over. He looks at Vermilia, then Pius, then directly at me. It was him. He came personally and... He looks down, guilty at what he has to impart. Tamerlane was alive when he left this ship. To punctuate the moment, the tech priest waves a beckoning hand to us all. The screen before him flashes to life, and we see broken fragments of the battle. Interference cuts in regularly, but between the flickering images and the recovered Vox commands, which we all hear, it is unmistakable. They were outnumbered at least 3-1, outgunned badly, and overwhelmed by enemy boarding pods.
So, The enemy has capital vessels to match the might of the Imperial ships of the line.
She looks to us all, but concludes on me again.
Enough. This is over.
And one word draws from my diminutive ally. Coward. Vermilia turns so slowly, unfurling her arms, heat distortions flickering across her brow and upper head. I step between them, darting an imploring look to Vermilia as I round on Sowlet. I know you are fatigued, old friend, but that was unbecoming. Unworthy of you. Apologize. Sowlet glares up at me, sneering as I step backwards so he can face Vermilia. But of course, his visage transforms and he shakes his head and spits. A terrible day. I retract my insult. It was a lie. Your bravery is assured by your mere presence. A terrible day. Vermilia, I welcome your measured and sound advice. Of course, we should calmly consider all permutations of an appropriate response and course of action. I nod along at both with a stern smile on my face. Sowlet chips in again. But we should do this where it counts.
Where?
You will agree with me when you see. And with that, we head to Sowlet's ship, each in our own transports, but mixed entourages. It's tense. Vermilia fidgets with her wrist before we set off. Good girl. She's learning. And when we arrive, the troops are set to eating, and we follow Sowlet. He stops before a thick hatch. Very thick. Let's do this. In here. He opens the hatch. It's genetically locked to him. Some of the highest tech I've ever seen. Give or take. Well, human at any rate. The heavy doors open and we walk inside. There, 3 weapons are suspended in shafts of light. Anti-gravity fields. The lighting is for show, but I'll grant him, they look like things of legend. The weapons. A gold and metal shaft headed by a piece of black glass, jagged and deadly sharp. An arrow with an identically sharp but smaller glass arrowhead. A wide stabbing blade of black glass with a short metallic handle. And so we could easily see each other, but we all felt it. We stood before objects of fate. Sowlet waves his hand across them. One from Traoris, one from Ararat, one from the vengeful spirit. Fulgurite. When the Emperor used his power unfettered, rarely, there was a residue. This black glass that we call fulgurite, the only substance able to permanently slay a perpetual. I point to them all. That will never get through power armor. It will shatter. Indubitably, says Sowlet.
We'll have to take his armor off?
If he wears any. But if he does, then yes. Any other revelations, Sowlet? Yes. Lamentably. Only one of these is the genuine article. The other 2 are fake. And we do not know which. Deep joy! Vermilia sounds off.
This crystallizes the situation.
I nod appreciatively, a twinkle in my eye. Nice pun, I state. Vermilia can't help herself. She winks back at me. She's serious, but not fraught. And even better, not furious anymore. Sowlet sighs at our escapades. Okay, let's do this. Vermilia, you have the floor. Make your case.
He has obviously lured us into a trap. He's got the resources and the upper hand. This is so much bigger than we thought. feared in our worst nightmares. This is bigger than the traditions, bigger than revenge. It's a threat the Imperium must know of. We need a full crusade.
Okay, let's run through that. Sowlet. Let us presume a return journey half of that of our voyage thus far. Then, add another 3 to 4 decades to gain a suitable meeting with a, if not the, High Lords of Terror. Even with the help of our plants, this would be fast. Then, another decade or more to reach deliberation. Then, a century to gather the forces required. These forces will be drawn from existing fronts, all while competing with the more immediate and dire Xenos threats, the encroachment of traitors and Neverborn, and all on the word of the Ordo Malleus, or a handful of scattered Inquisitors from a sideline faction, an oddity, speaking of a threat to the Emperor himself. Say we manage it, we do it, we gain a crusade. We'd have to wade through every one of those fleets the Xenos amassing in every system we visit. Perhaps they combine against us with the enemy, we being the greater threat at that point. Things would be slow and costly. I have no doubt that in approximately 150 to 200 years, our successors could lead the Imperium to squash this region, hunt out the beast, and we could pin him down and stake the bastard. But it won't happen faster than that. I nod and continue. Okay, that's a thorough response. So, why don't we do that? It seems more certain than our current course of action. I nod to Pius, and he chimes in.
We have resources that could be gathered. The enemy's not popular out here. If we used a recommendation granted to us by the Corvor, we could build something in months, perhaps years, but not centuries. We have the tools to end this. The other prongs know the odds, as do we. Slim. But every minute we do not stop him, he gets stronger. As you say, the Imperium is beset on all sides. He could strike when we are at our weakest, distracted, and immortal with a list of allies and resources we could not have foreseen. To ignore the chance to end the threat to the Imperium would be utter folly.
We know who was in that prong by their ships, and I'm quite sure Thaddeus can confirm it. But Tamerlane is the indefatigable, Vospon the true, Harland the seeker. The enemy will attempt to break them down, but they will hold out longer than any others we know. Tamerlane alone could fend him off for a time. They are Inquisitors. They are of the Ordo. They are of the traditions. We owe them this much. We have to try to find them, to free them. We have to try. At that, Vermilia slowly nods.
The other option is to send back a warning.
She looks to me, but is clearly indicating Pius. Pius chuckles back.
Oh no, I'm not your errand boy. Not this time.
The counter seems simple. Time and certainty versus risk. Risk to the Imperium. Risk of failure. We all knew what we were getting ourselves into. We all knew the costs would be high. Can we betray our brothers and sisters in arms? Can we ignore the threat?
I, of all people, prefer alacrity. But with such high stakes, certainty is decisive.
Sowlet retorts. We swore an oath to confront the enemy, wherever he may be. We swore to the Emperor as Inquisitors. We swore again as avengers against the enemy. We must stay the course to the bitter end. We all look to Pius, who seems surprised for a second. Then he responds.
Out among the stars, the war goes badly. The Imperium has no more men and women to give. The Astra Militarum Adeptus Astartes hang on by their fingertips. The Sisters fight grueling wars of reclamation. Even with the Primarch reborn, we lose system by system. Lights snuffed out by the darkness. We are Inquisitors. We are the bulwark against the taint. We strike hard and we finish this before it becomes a true threat.
I slowly nod my head, take one step forward and look at them all. This is why 3 were chosen for each prong of the attack, to prevent gridlock, and I will not create one. We fight. Projected into the upper altitudes of the warp, the land of dreams, I stand before the enemy himself. I hear his words. Tarquinus, listen to me now. The being you think of as the Emperor, he tried to pervert the course of human development. He even conspired to hide us in the webway, or perhaps get the humans to kill off the last of the Eldar. He annihilated the Eldar as much as he could. He crushed the Orcs, our galaxy's natural foot soldiers. He weakens the galaxy hour by hour, month by month, century by century. And he does all of this so the Devourer or the Soulless can wipe it clean. Your Emperor is sacrificing the entire galaxy for his own apotheosis. Tarquinus, you cannot beat my forces. You cannot beat me. If you join me, I will spare your friends. Merdraut looks expectant, self-satisfied, preening in the logical trap he has laid before me. But we are not alone. All around us, I can see the slowly moving warriors, knights, horsemen, monsters, and there, over Merdraut's shoulder, I see the center of the battle. I can see him. Atop a white charger, destroying all in his path, his armor resplendent, despite the clouds above us. He shines so bright. My lord. Is he the liar, the butcher that I've just been told? Impossibly, independently. In the visage, his visor raises. Across the battlefield, I can see. His eyes do not lock on the enemies before him. As lightning crackles down his sword in slow motion, it illuminates his face. He is looking at me. I can see it. What only she could show me. Blood of his blood. She knew him so well. This is not his memory. It is that of the enemy. Yet still, even at this distance, I can see it in his eyes. The pain. This is no memory. He is here. And he doubts me. He waits as expectantly as Merdraut. I lower my head. Then I begin. I place my hands together languidly. Without raising my head, I then thrust my right hand out to my side. I reach for it, closing my hand on a thin pillar of light. I draw it back across my body and clasp it in both hands. My staff. I now fix Merdraut with a glare, the light between my eyes banishing the darkness around me before me, and I speak my piece bold. Oh, you're good. You almost had me, but could not control yourself. That last threat crystallized the issue more than anything. Such a waste. You must have honed that diatribe for centuries. A spectacular performance, I must say. I applaud you for a misdeed so deftly done. Perhaps, even a year ago, that might have worked for you. And his face twists into a deepening sneer as I go on. But I have witnessed the stolen soul of a solitaire, the befouling of my own world, the warriors of the traitor Astartes. I have met the ones you extol and seen the fruit of their works. Pain, misery, mistrust, slaughter, depravity. But most of all, death. You accuse another with your own hands dripping blood. You and the forces of the Immaterium, and I have felt the light of his Astronomicon, been suffused with his righteous might. I say, I am his hammer. I will end you, Merdraut. His sneer is wiped away, replaced by a look of nonchalance as he intones, No, Tarquinus, you will not. This was not an invitation, but an ultimatum. I am no trifle, no maid proposing a role in the hay. And I feel a lurch in my stomach, my every chakra from there, a feeling of falling. The enemy's features twist into an unnaturally predatory smile as he sees my shock. The vision around us blurs, like a painting with water poured over it. He is dragging us down, 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 into the deeper levels of the Immaterium, where he is more and I am less. He speaks. A pity. I had such high hopes for you, Tarquinus Insulubis. Now, you will die. I cannot stop what he is doing. He is too skilled, too experienced, too familiar with the rules here, if such things exist at all. So, I do what comes naturally. I trust my gut. I take my staff and leap at him. He smirks as I come on, drawing his own blade so fast. I only see it when it is already in the blocking position. No moment between sheathed and positioned. Yet I dig deep, to that place that was the genesis of my wee trick with the ring. And I strike. My staff comes down on his blade, as I force power behind every word I spit. In the Emperor's name, I command you, set me free, Loki! My staff touches his blade with that last word, and a tidal wave of energies come from it. Guided by the secret rules of the universe, the intonation of his name thrusts him back and breaks his hold on me. And I power myself up, 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 like a diver attempting to reach the surface before the last air escapes their lungs. At the last, I look down on him. He struggles to stand, but does so. Locking eyes on me, he mouths the one message. This is not over. But for today, it is. My human eyes snap open, and I tack the air as I sit bolt upright, sucking at the oxygen. My heart is racing, my hands shaking, my brow and hair covered in sweat. I pant and hurl myself to the ground, digging my fingers at the floor, listening for every sound, looking around me to fill my senses with reality. But I am certain of it. I am back. I jump to my feet, and I do not stagger, I do not march. I run to the only place I can go, with Rebute following me like a shadow. I run to Ursula's quarters. Ursula stares at me in wonder, her wide eyes filled with the hint of tears. She finally responds.
How did you counter this filth? It seems so convincing.
I look down at her hands in mine, noticing how they merge, become one. I stroke my thumbs across her fingers as I state, until you peel it away. My first master, she knew him best, deeper than any I have ever met, ever will. She showed it to me, unpeeled all of its layers, inside the beacon, the Astronomicon. Have you never felt it?
Felt what?
His pain. She looks confused, semi-guilty, staring at me so intently.
No.
It is there. The light is his will, his grace, but it is bought by his pain. Despite immortality, the Emperor was a man. I believe that. Thus, he errs, or erred. But he died and remained alive, for us. But not just his pain alone. He feels what we feel. He knows how we die. It is all there in his light.
But does this not shake your faith? Can any man endure such pain indefinitely?
By will alone, by necessity, he has become divine. It is the most bitter chalice of all. So we might have a chance. He holds on. He guides us, protects us, forges our greatest psychers. Ursula, whatever he may have been before, he is now the master of mankind. Our prayers are not just cries for help. They are the tethers, the very ropes that keep him here. My darling Ursula, the Emperor did not sacrifice himself for us. He sacrifices himself for us. Whatever trespasses he may have committed, he paid and pays for it 1,000-fold. So we might have a chance to live again and again, every second of every day. The Emperor dies. Familia takes a message from her ship. A quiet message. A look to me was enough. I send my lads back to the ship, but join Familia as she crosses to hers. Only Barbon in tow. We do not discuss it in front of her people, but I see the nervous energy she tries so desperately to suppress. Is she about to attempt to get me to move? To somehow retrace and retract on that which we decided? But lamentably, the truth is so much worse. In less than 5 minutes, we both stand agog in the middle of a room. In front of us is a chair blackened by flame and partially melted. Does this mean what I think it means? Vermilia walks around the chair, face white as a sheet. You are telling me that you did not move him? Vermilia stops and looks at me, forlorn. She nods. Oh dear.
I do not understand. Nobody could survive that. Nobody.
Let's not get carried away, says I, with a thin smile. It does not reach my eyes. So, It's about as convincing as if I'd not done it at all. This was hard for her. Right on the tail of Tarek. This was so damn hard. Add to this what we just witnessed on the Valiant Avenger. All of it. She is of the traditions, but she is still young. She is in shock.
How, Thaddeus? How?
I have no doubt that you are correct. Castro did not, could not, have survived what you did to him. What we did to him. And this means he had or has an accomplice. Vermilia knows this was always the answer, but shakes her head anyway. Not in rejection of the truth most abundant, but to dispel the fog in her head. To accept the unacceptable. On her ship. If not on others, there are more of them. We have found the Hydra. We have treated with the Hydra and rejected its offer. Now, it seems we may have roused the Hydra. Retaliation will come. Soon. I turn on her. Tell none but Barobiel.
But can I even trust him?
I turn to the silent spectre of Barbon. What do you think? Barobiel is a son of the Angel. If you cannot trust him, we may as well put bolt pistols in our mouths and pull the trigger. Luridly put, Barbon, old chap. I turn to Vermilia. Close off this room. Change all of your password securities and protocols, especially to your automata forces. Double the bridge, armory, galley, and engine room guard details. Trust no one but Barobiel. It never rains but it pours. We didn't need this. Not today. And on to the thing I have to admit that I enjoy more than most of my roles, bringing order to the chaos I find around me. A swift bit of organization. We have 3 barges filled to the rafters with mouths to feed, souls to free, then to pacify and enter into a meaningful discourse with. We need what they have in abundance. Information. Or so I hope. At any rate, I scanned the entire itinerary, cargo manifest and roster of captives. So many, like the black ships. So many of my kind huddled down there in the holds. Of course, I've organized lighting, food, water, and reassurance from Ursula. She is a dab hand at that sort of thing. She has them eating out of that dab hand very soon. Well, at least they are calm. For the time being. Soon, we can interrogate them for the information we require, though we need to make sure it does not feel like an interrogation, of course. With any luck, we may well have gained the hope promised in our scrying that set all of this in motion, hopefully. Amongst the screeds of information I now possess, something catches my eye. There is a place on this ship that has no records, shows no details. It is so heavily shielded, only the captain has the ability to open its confines. I shudder to think what is down there. So, predictably, I grab Ilhavnarian and head down there immediately. The heart of fire is in his quarters. The strain of the battle tested even his limits. But more, I think he is avoiding me. Our tuition now contains no preamble, no deconstruction thereafter. He just leaves again. And today, I am more than happy to leave him be. I do not look forward to my next lesson, I can assure you. He will read my history off my face alone, need not even view my soul to see the truth of what I so foolishly did. But right now, I care not. There is a mystery to be revealed and unpacked. Time to turn the key and open the door. The huge blast doors crank open slowly, labouring under the pressure of moving such thick armour. A reek comes from the air that escapes. Not death, but bodily expulsions left to fester. There is no light within, so I take out my portable lumen and slowly trace the room with its beam. I stop on a bundle of rags that huddles in the corner. I go to step through, but a sword bars my path. Ilhavnarian has raised it. He then stalks into the room first. A movement from his left crashes into the solitaire. A very human bellow of rage comes from it. The man now rains down blows on the solitaire, who blocks most with his arms, avoids a thunderous strike that terminates on the decking. We all hear the crunching of knuckles and resounding thud. The man winces and draws back for the injured arm, but continues his attacks with the other. I land a hard boot in his ribcage, slamming whoever it is off my Eldar friend. He rolls, is back on his feet in a flash. I then blind him with a burst from the torch, aiming it straight into his face. A man of latter middling years, drawn, hungry, haggard, but resolute. He snarls and makes to charge at me, and I aim my bolt pistol at his head and shout, "Halt! We are not your enemies! Don't make me shoot you!" Panting, he skids to a stop, glaring at me. Well, glaring at the light. I doubt he can see me from behind it, but he can see the extended bolt pistol all right. Ilhavnarian is also back on his feet, probably feeling foolish from being taken down by a Monkey, I'd wager. His sword's held to his fore. If I give the word, this man dies. I modulate my voice for calmness. Let's start again. I am not here to harm you. I am here to free you. My name is Tarquinus. What is yours? While saying this, I finally get a good look at him. A tall, wiry and striking man. He has the shadow of old bruises marring his noble visage, rips and tears across a complicated uniform that must denote high office. He has been treated roughly, and often it seems. Yet still, from the demonstration he just gave me, they have not taken his pride or purpose. He responds in the local dialect. I translate this with my skills, listening with my mind more than my ears. I may miss nuances this way, but I can discern the general gist without him being spooked by an obvious link in our minds. He cannot help but throw back his shoulders in a tight snap as he speaks, clearly a military man. I am Strike Commander Justin Laurent. I shoot the light to the bundles of rags clinging to the bulkhead and ask, "Who are you, friend?" The officer retorts, "He cannot answer you himself. That is Alderman Frankius. Is he so wounded that he cannot speak? Do we need to take him to emergency care?" The man sidesteps toward the other and leans down, stroking his shoulder reassuringly. "He is not in immediate danger. He merely has no tongue." The solitaire steps backwards and searches for a switch, and the lights come on inside the fortified cell, and I see the bundle of rags more clearly. It is a man, or most of him, arms that have no hands at their terminus. Then I see his face. No ears, no eyes, burned marks around the sockets. Not recent, but not ancient either. This has been done to him in the last month or so. Someone wanted this man cut off from all others. He cannot see, hear, touch, or speak. What does he know? I speak again to the Strike Commander Laurent. I am going to stand back from the door. I would ask you to assist Alderman Frankius. We need to get you out of here and to better quarters. Cleaned up, fed, watered, washed, and well again. Justin Laurent sneers at me as he flicks an eye towards the obvious Eldar. He does not trust a word I speak so much as plain, and I know it has something to do with my company. Let's speed things up, cut to the quick of the matter. Please allow me to introduce my colleague, Ilhavnarian. The commander spits on the ground. The spittle is brown and sticky, some trails from his face. He is dehydrated quite badly. This cost him. This was no small thing. I would assure you that he is unlike others you have clearly heard of or met. But we shall not impress this on you. I know actions are all that count to a man such as yourself. When we are safe and I am assured you will not attack me, then I will send him away if he is a cause of consternation or fear. Laurent stiffens. He curtly nods. He turns and gently attempts to raise the Elderman to his only remaining extremities, his feet. The old man is frail, but finally rises and hobbles while assisted by the strike commander. So, I take them not to quarters on this barge, for none are particularly nice. We take our shuttle back to the Huntsman of the Soul, and I make sure that they are attended like honoured guests taken from the clutches of an enemy. They're pampered and fed, washed and clothed in fresh new attire, and after a full night's sleep, we begin again. The transformation is complete. This officer does not trust me. How could he? But he is far more relaxed, his feral edge taken with the whiskers and encrusted muck that covered him. Yes, he is born to the purple. His bearing is stiff, his back straight. He controls every movement, guards his mind well. Yet I slip in there, in his mind, to make this conversation possible. The Elderman is no better than he was before, merely cleaner. What they did to him. He shakes at every movement, instinctively facing it, yet he cannot see. I sit down and open the negotiations. Thank you for agreeing to speak with me. The officer, Justin Laurent, spits back. Did we truly have a choice in the matter? As hard as this may be to believe. Yes, you did, and you do. So if I stand right now and walk towards that door, what happens? I cannot permit you the run of my ship unescorted, but if you were insistent, we could drop you off somewhere, a habitable moon or planet out of the way. You don't actually need to answer a single question. I simply think that you have been mistreated, and I think the forces that did this to you are the ones I wish to defeat. I had hoped we could make common cause. Tell me who your enemy is, who you serve. Then, perhaps, we may have a basis for an accord. Reasonable and fair. In the briefest possible sentence, we come from the Imperium of Mankind, the human empire nearer the center of this galaxy. We hunt an immortal being that is hiding out here at the outskirts of space, one that threatens all we hold dear. We believe he is the horror that has dominated your people, a leader who will not die. He is not what you may believe. He is evil incarnate. Laurent's eyes thin. He is weighing up my words carefully. I raise my eyebrows and spread my hands, signalling that that is all I am presently willing to relay. And why do you work with such scum? I nod slowly. I presume you mean my Eldar friend. I do not work with him. He works for me. Yet I can see the basis of your concern. All I can say is that we know this immortal, this tyrant, has a form of Eldar in his employ. Those terrible things are not the same as my friend, my subordinate. He would detest them as much as you, perhaps even more. But I have no way to gauge this until you speak and tell me of your woes. He is but one of 2 Eldar in my entourage. But this, as you can see, is no Eldar ship. They are my men, nothing more. It is I who is in command here, not they. I speak the words of power that a warrior would know. Structure, order, command. I can see him start to open up. His muscles no longer twitch under the strain of tightness. He warms to me just a little bit. It is a beginning. You sing a pretty song, but where is your proof? I nod and pass him a data slate. This is not unshakable proof, but should be a start. On it is the picked and vid captures from our conflict with the enemy picket ships that defended the convoy. He takes it all in before leaning forward and passing the slate back to me. Polite. I like that. You have freed us, and I have no real reason to disbelieve you, yet. I will take you at your word. Ask your questions. I shall answer them honestly, or not at all. All I ask for is the truth. So, my first question. You say you're a strike commander. Can I take it you were in the military of the Omega Empire? If so, why were you then confined thus? Yes, I was an ardent follower of the monarch. I commanded an entire fleet of his fighting ships. I was near fanatical, for only those who believe can rise through the ranks. Yet, even I could not refute the truth when it was shown to me. He looks to the older man beside him. Elderman Frankius approached me, secretly, quietly, and he revealed to me the truth. And he revealed to me the true history of our people. Is that why they did this to him? To stop him telling others? Yes. And as punishment, he knows the terrible truth, yet can tell none with voice, can write nothing down, can hear nothing ever again. Calculated cruelty. Is this the norm in the Omega Empire? He sits forward. This is the litany. All who stand against us are evil, for otherwise, why do they stand against the righteous? Only the wicked are punished. Hence, they are given no quarter. It is as a monarch demands. I understand. You think you do. As I thought I did. You have no idea. Alas, Strike Commander Justin Laurent, I have met this monarch of yours, seen his works up close. If we speak of the same man, he is no man at all. Laurent finishes my words. He is a monster. Yes, he is. The most vicious I have ever encountered. If only you knew the half of it. That is why I'm here, sir. To know what he did, does, and why. Then, to end him. His hand comes up to rub his brow. He speaks softly. As the Elderman told me, that has been tried so many times before. It cannot be done. Not by any normal means, no. But there are ways, and we know them. Who is we, can I ask? You have given, so shall I. We means a group of important individuals from the Imperium. We tracked him out here for the one purpose only, to slay the bastard. We are not an army with fleets and forces to wage a war of destruction. We are here to do what must be done, and to leave again. We come to slay the monarch. Nothing more. He shoots back. So you care not about what he does or how he rules? My apologies. I'm not projecting things as carefully as I could. Laurent's eyes twinkle a little as he taps his head and says, Because we do not actually speak the same language, eh? He has figured it out. I nod again. Yes. Not many would figure this out so swiftly, especially under the circumstances. I see you are a man of not just courage, but of intellect and will. Is this common amongst the forces of the Omega Empire? One does not become a rare strike commander without certain skills and attributes that place one above the common man. I shall answer your question. We are not uncaring of the plight of our fellow humans. If we have the power, the time, we shall do all we can for you. But I cannot lie. Our priority is the destruction of this evil who rules the Omega Empire. I give him time to consider my words. Then, for the time being, we seem to have common cause. How strong are you in the ways? I frown for a second, then ask for clarification. The ability is to read thoughts, to think to one person for them to think back at you. Do you require words to understand, even if they should be bereft of meaning? No, I can link with the mind of another so that we can hear each other's thoughts and emotions. Though it can be grueling and very disconcerting, I can even see and project memories as if they were experienced at that time. Do you wish me to mind speak with the Elderman? I do, but not yet. He is tired, scared. If you were to mind speak with him now, his red pump may burst. Can you not tell me what he told you? Just a start? Nay, I could never do it justice. I remember barely a quarter of what he imparted to me. It shook me so hard, opened my eyes so wide. I was swept away by it all. If anything you have told me is true, you need to hear this directly from Elderman Frankius. He is the man you were destined to meet, not I. I understand. Please rest. I have left 2 men outside your door. Tell them what you want and when you want it, and it shall be arranged. Please note, you may leave this room with their escort, but not this deck. I hope you can understand. I am a stranger in a strange land, and we have only just met. I want for nothing less, and definitely expect nothing more. Strike Commander Laurent stands and offers his hand. We shake, then I leave. Oh yes, we hit pay dirt on this excursion, oh yes we did. I can't wait to tell Thaddeus of all we have and will come to know. Barbon marches out before me, but Vermilia stops at the door and closes it behind him. She then rounds on me.
Thaddeus, I know why.
Why what?
I know why you aren't backing me.
Logic dictates.
Oh, damn your logic. Saulot needs this to continue. If we retreat, he will die before we see its conclusion. He can't stomach that. He said it himself. It's his life's work. He's sacrificed everything he owns, everything he could have accomplished for this quest. He can't back out. Pius is glory hungry. He does good work, don't get me wrong. I respect Pius. I also like Pius. But we both know his eyes shine brightest when there is a big win on the horizon. Some say he wants lordship in the regional conclave. Others that it goes even further. It's why you dropped him, isn't it? His hunger?
Not entirely.
Admittance.
Your point?
You could have overruled Pius, taken the lead. You knew his response before it even started.
To what end?
I've bitten my tongue long enough, out of respect, to keep things on an even keel. No more. You expect me to believe that your Xenos friends all upped and left to side with the enemy?
If there is a point here, you better get to it, Vermilia.
Or what? You aren't a psyker. I could consume you where you stand.
And I don't know why, but for some reason, I see red. Like you did Castro, eh?
Low. Even for you.
Now we come to it.
Stop it. You're deflecting. Again.
Test me again. Go on. See what happens, psyker.
No. Stop it. Engage. Stop hiding.
Engage with what?
The truth. The one you hide from. Admit it. You are waiting. Holding out hopes that they will come back. With him.
You've lost it. You really have. Throw nose. I didn't want you in my prong, but nobody else would have you. Petulant, erratic, aggressive, imprudent. You have so much to learn, and no time to do it in. You are presently a liability, more than a boon.
It won't work. Throwing barbs at me. You know we should leave. Now. We've traitors on board my ship, possibly all of them. We're outgunned and outmatched. You know this. Yet, you hold on. And I know it's because of the boy. Let him go. Let us go. This isn't a game, Thaddeus.
No, Vermilia, it isn't. You're right. I'm sorry, my friend. You're right. I have to admit, I am lost. I have been since he...
Killed. Say it.
Since he was killed.
Good. Now, take the next step. Call the retreat. Now!
I cannot, Vermilia.
Why?
Partially. Because you may well be right.
And?
Because they may be right. Sowlet and Pius. Imagine what the enemy could do with 2 more centuries. I shudder to imagine. It's a nightmare, my sister. But we have to try.
Think on what I have said. Admit it to yourself fully. The next bad hand, the very next defeat, we leave.
To be continued.